I was having a debate online sparked by this article, which is arguing that engineering culture is much more important than having a bunch of so called 10x engineers. So I do agree that eng culture is crucial, but I drastically disagree that 10x engineers are not incredibly valuable or even crucial. One of the people I was having a debate with about this was saying all the 10x engineer types, as they called it, that they had worked with or seen had left behind a pile of technical debt and annoyed coworkers. So the first thing I want to say is that a 10x engineer, by definition, is not someone who leaves behind a pile of technical debt. That person is not a 10x engineer. Another misconception is that a 10x engineer is someone who writes 10 times as much code. And any organization that measures productivity by lines of code doesn't know what they're doing. I have seen small teams of, let's say, just several 10x engineers who can outperform a giant team of 80 normal engineers, quote unquote. And the way they do this is by communicating, supporting their peers, mentoring junior engineers, reducing technical debt, coordinating with non-technical stakeholders, etc. In many cases, a 10x engineer writes a lot less code than a so-called normal engineer, and yet is able to produce results that are far more effective and much faster, much more quickly. Part of what they do is setting things up in such a way that the architecture itself accelerates code development, and the dev processes that they encourage to put into place also speed up development and testing and so on. Where I would agree with this article is that a true 10x engineer helps set up the positive eng culture and the architecture and processes that support rapid, high-quality software development. But in my experience, you need a critical mass of so-called 10x engineers who are setting up those systems and those processes, and then other engineers can plug into that framework. If all you have are so-called normal engineers who can't operate at that level, they're not going to be able to design those systems to be that effective. That's why you can see small teams of highly effective engineers which have a core that's designed by the so-called 10x engineers, and they can outperform much larger teams in a much shorter period of time. It is true that without a strong eng culture, a 10x engineer cannot deliver what they could otherwise be able to deliver. Management has to support such people.